Welcome back. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of spoons that I bought quite recently. A couple of old spoons. You may have heard me refer to the Trefid pattern before. Well, that's it in its various forms. You see, this is a slightly later version of Trefid. It's almost getting into dog nose territory. It's got three little sections with these two notches. This is the sort of more fulsome, full throw Charles II Trefid, and it's meant to do that. I haven't hit it with a hammer. It's meant to do that. Yeah, they believe me. No, it is. No, it is. And you can see that's much more prominent than that. And there's about, quick mental arithmetic. It's about 15 years between these two 17th century spoons. End of the 17th century, almost. 1694. Third quarter. Well, fourth quarter, but the start of the first quarter. 1679. And you will find earlier Trefids than this that are more exaggerated. They come out go up a bit more, come out much quicker. Some are almost straight with just a little flourish. Now, I want to talk about the name Trefid for a moment. So we call them Trefids, and Trefid is the right name for them. But I had two very early catalogues for silver dealers about 1901, 1902. And they have these spoons. And in both catalogues for different dealers, they describe them not as Trefids, but as either hind's foot, so the tread of a deer. And I think you can sort of see that, the footprint of a deer with the foretoe, or pied de bêche, which is French for hind's foot. So historically, these were, I think, hind's foot or pied de bêche spoons, but that's a bit of a mouthful. People got sick and tired of saying it, so they just said they're Trefids. Probably derived from trefoil because they've got three bits on the end. I can live with that. Now, these are interesting because they both came up in provincial sales. This one had a very high estimate on it, I felt. This one was estimated very lowly. They both ended up costing about the same amount of money, which I shan't disclose to you because they are, of course, both for sale. But, you know, they were both very many hundreds of pounds. This one, interestingly, we'll talk about this one first. There was no interest really in this. As I say, it had quite a high estimate, and I don't blame the auctioneer for that because it's an early spoon. It does have wear to the bowl. If I breathe on it, you'll see me less and you'll see more of the spoon. And this happens. Now, normally I don't buy spoons with heavily worn bowls. They're not really of that great an interest. However, you'll notice, again, this is an early feature. What the auctioneer took to be the date letter, again, no problem with that. It's marked, yeah, that's better. It's marked quite high up near the top of the stem. The style of spoon before this would be a Puritan, so it would just go straight up and sort of stop. And a feature of Puritan spoons, normally, I mean, there's all sorts of variations, so let's not get dragged in, these that they will have a mark here in the bowl. Later ones, they're all marked on the stem, but they'll have a mark in the bowl. They'll have two marks here. So this will be, normally this is a maker's mark or a town mark, normally a town mark. Standard, if it's a London one, town mark, standard mark, maker's mark. And then all the way up the top, as if to say this is the true length of it, the date letter. And that persists with earlier Trefids. And it is a G. It's it's a sort of Gothic G, which is a sort of London date letter, but it isn't a London date letter, and that's why I bought this. This has actually got the date letter again, if it is a date letter, which it isn't, struck at the bottom, which is also a Gothic G. So you think, why have they put two date letters on? And this is a, this squiggle here, because it's, it's half struck, is the maker's mark. So if you've got a maker's mark and you've got two funny marks, this is telling you it isn't London, it's provincial. And actually the maker, I know, is a TH conjoined, which you might, if you didn't know that, you might spend a lot of time trying to work that out. And that's Thomas Hutchinson. And he worked in, remember, capital Gothic G. He worked in, Great Yarmouth. So this is an East Anglian, very rare, incredibly rare East Anglian Trefid spoon, which is why we forgive it this. How much Great Yarmouth silver have I seen in the last 30 years? I've owned one other spoon in 30 years, and I look for these things, and I haven't been able to afford two beakers that have come up in that time. There are estimated, and it's always ever only an estimate, there are estimated to be 30 to 40 pieces entirely of Great Yarmouth silver assayed, made and assayed with Great Yarmouth marks in the world. The complete globe. It's not one piece of country. So when you see a piece of Great Yarmouth silver in an auction, even at a slightly high estimate, and even with a slightly warm bowl, you better buy it. My goodness. The opportunity isn't going to come round again. So this fabulous Charles II, let that sink in. Charles II, solid silver, handmade, East Anglian Great Yarmouth spoon, was only bought a few months ago at auction as a London silver Trefid. Good things, look, good things will turn up. And if you miss them, don't worry. There's always a friendly antiques dealer that will find them and sell them to you for a very reasonable, very small profit. Minuscule. So that's a lovely early Trefid. And again, at about the same time, this London Trefid came up. Now this, I should both say, they both have this on the back. This is what we call the rat tail. On the earliest Trefids, this will be decorated. Because a Trefid spoon was laying on a table like that, bowl side down. We do it this way now, and they started doing that from about 1750 onwards. But back then, you put a spoon bowl side down, and you tried not to drop it when you were showing someone it was bowl side down. I bought this for a couple of reasons. Marks are nice. They're not, people when they sell you things will tell you all sorts of libelous bullshit. The marks on that aren't brilliant, but they're readable. Everyone actually the London Town mark and the Standard mark are lovely. They're nicely struck. The maker's mark, you can see what it is. IZ Thomas Izzard, TZ Thomas Izzard, and the date letter is a little bit worn, but you can see it's the R for 1694. Why did you buy that, Michael? Well, this has a lovely bowl, which is always, unless you're buying a piece of Great Yarmouth silver, a lovely bowl is always important. Little bit of wear, but it's it's there or thereabouts. It is, you know, it's over 300 years old, for God's sake, and people have been eating their cornflakes with it since then. The rat tail is a lovely rat tail. Most London ones will be beautifully made. It's got that ribbing which makes it just pop out a bit. That's there for strength. It's if you think about it, if idiots like me drop them like that, yeah, it's fine, it's fine. No spoons were harmed in the making of this film. If you're an idiot and you drop it, or you're, you know, trying to eat something particularly heavy, the weight of the bowl, it's just a little rib to give it a little bit more strength, but also to give it decoration. And the earlier ones will have flame embossed decoration, like little flames licking off that rat tail. They're flame backs, and then that gets developed into lots of lovely scroll decoration, and they are lace backs. You thought I was going to say scroll back, didn't you? Thought, oh, the flame ones are flame backs, and the scrolly ones are lace backs. That's very confusing, Michael, but these are the names we give them. You will also sometimes get decoration, a little bit of decoration here, even though that's the downside. What you will always see, or almost always see, is an engraved initial on the back, but rarely you will see a crest. Crests on the back, original crests, and actually this is the reason. I'll put a picture of this up as well. That fabulous boar's head crest, the initials, the original initials underneath, and then this little beautiful little scroll serif. And you know I like my engraving, early engraving. That's a fantastic bit of engraving. So it's a lovely condition spoon with nice marks, but just a crest that makes it fabulous. So, you know, you can hold this and think, you know, it's made in the reign of William III. It's been around for over 320, nearly 330 years. And it's just a fantastic tactile bit of silver. And I should say both of these are hand-raised spoons at this period. There's no mechanisation, there's no machine production. Nobody's rolling out the silver. These all started life as lumps of metal and were hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered and hammered. Both available if you like them. Sorry to be commercial. I do this sometimes. I shouldn't be, but I am. And a fabulous area of collecting. And as I say, with spoons, you can collect different makers, different periods, different assay offices. Don't start collecting Great Yarmouth silver, though, because you'll buy one piece every 25 years. So, you know, if somebody says to you, if your partner says to you, why don't you collect Great Yarmouth silver? It's because they don't want you to collect anything. East Anglian silver is achievable. You will find pieces from Colchester and Norwich is a big centre. You will find things. They're still incredibly rare, but you will find them. But that's a super rare thing, the Great Yarmouth one. You can have a look. I mean, maybe somebody's got one. Somebody else in the country or in the world has got a bit of Great Yarmouth silver for sale. I doubt it. So, you know, if you want a bit, you're going to have to come to me until another bit turns up. That's the world of Michael according to spoons. I hope you're all still awake, and if you are, I shall bid you farewell until next week, when I shall try and put you to sleep again. And until then, go out, handle things, look for things, go to auctions, go to fairs, go to dealers' shops. Occasionally give a query to maybe an online dealer who posts just sort of weekly videos on YouTube or Instagram. That'd be a good way to acquire something, wouldn't it? But in the meantime, good hunting and goodbye.